Alright, rant number 6. I think there should be a couple things that we should be on alert of. Such things as Bigfoot. Alright, people don't think Bigfoot exists. But if you rationally think about it, it's way more likely that there might be a prehistoric animal living rather than some Elvis ghost haunting your guy's toilet. Also, you know, when planes fly out of your house, like low planes and shit, you should be scared of that shit. Like, I'm scared that I might get bombed on, because, I mean, you never know. That shit happens in an instant. Ask the people of Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Oh, wait, you can't. Another thing, you should be dangerous. Sand, alright? A lot of people aren't afraid of sand. They go to the beach and shit. Sand kills more people than sharks. According to a U.S. survey, between the years 1990 through 2006, 16 people died of sand deaths of being trapped and submerged, more than over the 12 shark attacks for the same period. Hello? That's deadly. And that's my number 2 way of dying. Being buried alive after being drowning in sand. Well, not buried alive, more like being buried in like quicksand and shit. Have you seen those movies like The Mummy and shit? It's like, oh man. But another thing we should be aware of, you know, paper. Paper is very dangerous, you know. They have subpoenas, bills, and shit, and most importantly, they have paper cuts. You guys remember that show, like, I think it was in the 90s, called Adventures of Pete and Pete, where it had that little, like, I think 10-year-old boy with, like, a grown-ass tattoo of some woman in a red dress on his arm, and some superhero guy named Artie, who's claimed to be the strongest man in the world, but he just looked like a pedophile, a retarded version of Waldo. Oh, like Bizarro Waldo, that would be tight. You know, like was Bizarro Superman, but Bizarro Waldo, it'd be tight, like where's Waldo? But this guy keeps popping up, and you can't get rid of him. But there was some guy on there called Paper Cut, and all he did was make makeshift weapons and shit, and it caused a lot of paper cuts. And I was thinking, that could be the future of warfare, you know? It's like paper cutting and all that different shit, you know, also with sand attacks and paper cutting. That's what I fucking use. You know, I keep little bottles or a bag of pocket sands wherever you go. You get in a fight, you just like throw that shit in their eyes, and then you have like a makeshift paper sword and let's like give them some paper cuts while they're like blinded for a minute, and then when they regain their sight and come after you and they're like, why the fuck did you just give me paper cuts? You drill the sand back into their fucking wounds. Okay, and then shit, that could be the future. And then like I'll be like the king and be like fighting and shit, but I'll be the arena champion because I came up with this totally sweet idea of using sandpaper to form my sword, and I'll call it a sport. And then thus everywhere they go, they'll hail me as the paper lord and sing songs like may your paper cut deep and your sand and the sands burn like the intensity of the sun or something like that. And like they'll host me on my shoulders, and like people who defy me, I'll just like throw sand in their eyes, like and they're like you know, like get that white sand, it's like I have like jars of different sands and shit. And I like move my kingdom to like Saudi Arabia, so I get all the world supply of sand, and you'd be like, yeah.